Continuing my Captain Rex cosplay I'm working on for next year, I'm going to make a pair of DC-17 blasters that he carries around. I start by taking this 3D model I got from Cults 3D. I believe it was free. I will put a link in the description. I put it on my print bed where I could print it with absolutely no supports. The upside is it saves on plastic and cleanup. The downside is now I have to glue the two pieces together once it's done printing. So here I am gluing the two pieces together. You can see I printed enough to make 4 guns, not 2. This is because I'm going to put a couple on my display wall that are up high enough I don't want to have to keep going and getting them off of the wall. So the first thing I do after gluing it together is I take my modeling paste and I coat the gun. This is going to cover all of the print lines. I let that dry at least 24 hours. This is because it can dry in 4 hours, but it's kind of still damp and it will clog up the sandpaper. So after 24 hours, I start sanding. I use an X-Acto knife and a small sanding stick to get into smaller areas. Then I take it outside and I spray it with filler primer. This makes it a little easier to see the areas that I didn't sand well, because as I sand, the filler primer will sand away and I can find all the high spots. This is only sanding number 2. I then take it outside and I use a black sandable primer, which is a different color from the filler primer, and I will go through sanding number 3. I thought I would leave one of the 4 blasters unfinished so that you could see how far it comes along. In hindsight, now I have to go through all these steps with this one. But you can see the seam in the middle where I glued it together, and you can see some of the ridges from the 0.28 layer height that I used. Compared to here is a primed 3 times, first time with the masking and then with the 2 different primers. I took it outside and I did a light dusting of a aluminum. And after that dried, I'm just masking off a few areas that I'm going to use for weathering. I take it to my paint booth, and now I'm down to only wanting to get 2 done so that I can have a finished set, and then I will go back and finish the other 2 later. But this is black metallic Vallejo acrylic paint. I think I did 1 part paint to 1 part thinner to get it to go through the paintbrush at this time. This paint's getting a little older, so it's a little heavier. Then the fun part of going and finding all the areas I masked off and peeling off the liquid latex. After I did that, I'm using my Space Dust Vallejo paint, which can go through an airbrush or you can paint it on with a brush. And I'm going to paint the nozzle. This is a 2-tone paint that when you move the gun around, it will reflect a different color. So it'll give it like 2 different kinds of blue or a bluish red. Kind of like a burnt end of a flamethrower kind of thing. The blaster's been well used, so it kind of has like this, you can just see it's been worn. I'm taking a microfiber cloth and I'm brushing off the guns. And here's my completed blasters, 2 of them anyway. I like how the barrel came out. It doesn't show as well on camera as it does in person, but it definitely has that reflection as if it's been heated multiple times. If you got something out of this video, please give it a like, and if you're not already, please subscribe. It helps the channel. And I will see you on the next one.